राधा कृष्णा सेवा पाओ ये अभिलाषी राधा कृष्णा सेवा पाओ ये अभिलाषी ये तुम्हारा शरण लो तारा पंच पूर्ण होय ये तुम्हारा शरण लो तारा पंच पूर्ण होय तुम्हारा शरण लो तारा पंच पूर्ण होय कृपा करी करो तारे वृंदावनवासी कृपा करो तारे वृंदावनवासी नमो नमो तुलसी कृष्णा तुलसी नमो नमो तुलसी कृष्णा तुलसी नमो नमो निवेदन करो सखीरनुगत करो निवेदन करो सखीरनुगत करो सेवाधिकार लिए करो निज दासी सेवाधिकार लिए करो निज दासी नमो नमो तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमो तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमो दीन कृष्ण दासे होय नमो होय दीन कृष्ण दासे होय नमो श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदाई नवासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदाई नवासी नमो नमो तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमो तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमो यानि कानि च तानि कानि प्रयसन्ते सदक्षिणा करे करे यानि कानि च प्रयसन्ते प्रदक्षिणा करे करे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण वृंदाय तुलसी देवी प्रियाय केशवाय विष्णुपति परिदेवी सत्यवते नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देवी प्रियाय केशवाय विष्णुपति परिदेवी सत्यवते नमो नमः तुलसी माता विद्या देवी की जय
Start.
Not those are clothes. The clothes is from Prince.
Good. You understood what I said about the recording?
I know.
You can have the best thing. If this thing doesn't record, nothing will change. But what we have to find out, there is something you can put there. We take the pause. How do you call it? Pause through. From here, we plug it in there.
So Victor Prabhu was telling me there's something he has.
Then, maybe, but still, Mridanga you won't hear. Other stuff you won't hear.
Try.
Yeah.
Prabhu's on the other side. And Mataji.
Yeah, you know, if you want really, people don't sit in the middle. We put this, we leave a space.
No, not in the middle. So you just so that there's a you can
No,
Then the guests can see.
if you want,
and you
nobody
can
will sit there, we
communicate
just
with
leave a
whoever's
space
sitting
there.
and
That's right. Then nobody will sit in the middle.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe, Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe, Jaya Lakshman Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman.
Sitaram Lakshmi Bhatta Hanuman.
Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman.
Sitaram, Sitaram, Jaya Lakshmi Hanuman.
Gita Gora Hari Bol, Gita Gora Hari Bol.
His Grace Anirudh Prabhu ki. Thank you, Prabhu, for singing this beautiful, beautiful kirtan, leading us all into transcendental world. And now we're going to continue because we're still all relatively old people. So nobody new here, so I don't need to say anything else. We're going to continue with our program with Bharat Prabhu leading the kirtan.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Tarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare
This goes Bharat Prabhu ki. Hey.
Prabhupada ki.
Jai. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming this evening. I know it's not very hard when you're attracted to transcendental sound vibration to come to a gathering like this. So thank you all very much for coming again and again. We try to have these programs at least once a month, but sometimes nowadays we're doing twice a month. So please come as much as possible and invite those that you know that might be interested in coming. Even though they may not be on our spiritual gathering group, they might be, your friends or your relatives. Please invite them next time, okay? Thank you so much. So now we're going to continue with Saranga Prabhu and Lalita Mata Mataji. They're going to sing a bhajan.
Hare Krishna, as everybody know, last Tuesday was Ramanavmi. But we don't have a program, but today we are celebrating Ramanavmi in a way. Anyway, Mataji will say more about it, but we will sing something about Lord Ram. Ayodhya Vasi Ram, Ram Ram, Dasarat
नंदन राम राम अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम राम अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम राम अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम पतित पावन जानकी जीवन पतित पावन जानकी जीवन पतित पावन जानकी जीवन पतित पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम राम सीता मोहन राम राम सीता मोहन राम राम सीता मोहन राम राम अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम राम अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम राम पतित पावन जानकी जीवन पतित पावन जानकी जीवन पतित पावन जानकी जीवन पतित पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम राम सीता मोहन राम राम बोलो राम 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 सीता 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 राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम राम अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम राम अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम श्री राम राम शरत नंदन राम राम दशरथ नंदन राम राम दशरथ नंदन राम राम सीताराम राम 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 सीताराम राम 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 सीताराम राम 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 सीताराम राम 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 अयोध्या वासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम राम
Lord Ram ki jai.
Okay.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Saranga Prabhu and Lalita Mata Mataji, for that beautiful bhajan of Lord Ram. And we want to immerse in Lord Ram's pastimes only because this appearance day just was last Tuesday, like Prabhu said, right? And Lord Ram appeared. Why did Lord Ram appear? Anyone? To establish Dharma. And by his own example, he was called Maryada Purushottam Bhagwan Shri Ram, right? So he did not go out there and marry 10 wives and do all kinds of stuff that he wanted to do, right? Even though he was God, he can do, but he did not. Because he set the example for the human beings. Purushottam means the topmost human being. And he came here to show us how to live a family life, even though he was a king. He did his kingly duties, he did his household duties perfectly. People may criticize this other stuff, but he followed the rules and regulations that he set. So we must follow in Lord Ram's footsteps, Sita and Ram. So what we're going to do now is Lakshmi Narasimha Prabhu, who is a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We are very fortunate to have him in our congregation. We get to learn and hear from him his own experience, his realizations about practicing bhakti for so many years. Prabhu has gone to college. He studied law and English. And in 1972, he was introduced to bhakti. And he met Srila Prabhupada, and he was twicely initiated by Srila Prabhupada. First initiation is called Mantra Diksha, where you enter into the chanting of the holy name. And the second initiation called Brahman Diksha, where you are capable, or you're given the right to worship your deities in the temples. So Prabhu has been a temple president in 7 different temples. Over 40 years he's done this service. So let's give him a big Hari Bol 3 times and welcome him. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. His Grace Lakshmi Narasimha Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Oh, get off my box. My soapbox. Hare Krishna. So actually I should be here. Actually, I actually in reality should be here hearing from you all. Many of you have been raised hearing from grandparents and father and mother and auntie and uncle the glories of Lord Ram. I'm just newly introduced to Sri Ram by the grace of Srila Prabhupada in 1972. And so I thank you with all humility at my command for giving me the opportunity to speak about the glories of Lord Ram. How long do I have? Because that would take days.
At least 40 minutes.
Okay, so actually I would like it in part to be a little interactive. I may introduce a point and may want to hear it verified from you all in terms of a story about Lord Ram, so we can kind of intersperse philosophy and Leela during this short period of time of 40 minutes. and if that's all right with you all. So this way we'll be able to hear from a lot of our congregation who has, as I said, been introduced to Ramayana and Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita from very early age. So, Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuro Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Namao Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Deshotarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So by the blessings of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada and mercy of all you Vaishnavas, I will try to speak a little something on the glories of Ram. So because the Ramayana has many stories and many lessons to be told, I've just tried to simplify it into 5 principles of Lord Ramchandra. Now we know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is not really, from the perspective of the Vedas, is not such an easy concept to comprehend. From the Vedic perspective, the absolute truth can manifest in 3 different features, right? Brahman eti, Paraman eti, Bhagavan eti, Shabhyate. So 3 different features. And this is very exciting because nowhere will you find such a comprehensive understanding of the absolute truth as in that one statement. Because if you've studied Advaitin philosophy, then you will understand that the Supreme is Brahman. And that any manifestation in this material world, Krishna, Ram, Shiva, Agni, any manifestation in this material world is just a manifestation of the mode of goodness. Brahman, in order for Brahman, the impersonal, in Bhagavad Gita in the 14th chapter, Krishna says Brahman is imperishable, immortal, infinite. Gives the description in that way. So in order for us to understand Brahman or to reconnect to Brahman, according to Advaitin philosophy, then Brahman will manifest itself through the modes of material nature in various forms. And Shankaracharya was the principal exponent of this understanding. And he understood, Shankaracharya was very, very intelligent because he was none other than incarnation of Lord Shiva. And so he was very intelligent, and he was tasked with the duty or the responsibility to defeat Buddhism at the time. So what Shankaracharya presented, he knew that he could not do away with bhakti. Bhakti is such an intrinsic part of our existence, of our being. Love and devotion is such a deep-rooted, deeply ingrained facet of our very existence. So Shankaracharya, he incorporated bhakti in the Advaitin philosophy, and he said, oh, you can worship Krishna, you can worship Ram, you can worship Shiva, you can worship whomever, and then by that worship, by that bhakti, you become purified, and now you become qualified to understand that there is no form. God has no form. You have no form. That you are Brahman. Once you realize, you come to the platform of purification, then you realize you are one. Part of Brahman, like that. So the concept of Bhagavan is hard to understand because people say it's anthropomorphic. We are projecting onto the concept or the notion of God personality. But how can God be personality? Because we as persons, we make so many mistakes. We have so many flaws. And God has no flaws. God is flawless. So that is why people, especially in yoga nowadays, there is this closely adherent to Brahman conception, impersonal. Because there's two reasons for that. Number one, person means flaws. Person means you have a relationship and you get hurt by that relationship. So you're afraid of relationship. Prabhupada says in the purport of the Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha verse, he says there, fear, anger, and attachment. These are three reasons why we can't understand God, especially in his personal form. Fear, we're afraid. We're afraid to get hurt again. We had a relationship. It could have been a friend. It could have been a relative. It could be our spouse. It could be our child. It could be have a relationship and we get hurt by that relationship. So the whole notion of a divine, eternal relationship, that provokes fear. I don't want to get hurt. I'm going to get divinely hurt? No. Anger. My way or the highway. How many times have we heard that? Especially my wife and I were invited to a function, a Christian function. We didn't know really it was Christian. The doctor who was sponsoring it, he advertised it as, what was it? Health and wellness with the spiritual component. So we thought we're into health, we're into wealth and health and wellness, and we're into spirituality. But we went there. It was just Christian, and if you weren't a Christian, it was out the door, and I literally got kicked out. I got a nice little letter. Dear sir, please note, do not return. I'm sorry to have to tell you this. It pains my heart, but don't come back. Because I presented the notion that God can appear more than once, right? Not just once. Mercy, what does mercy mean? Mercy means even we don't deserve it, right? God gives us so much. Even we don't deserve it, that's mercy. So I made that point, and it didn't go over so well. But in any case, because the notion of Bhagavan as presented in the Vedas is not an easy thing to comprehend. Bhagavan is Ram, who has the hue of fresh green grass. That alone right there, that last couple of fresh green grass, that alone. Krishna is even harder to understand because Krishna's Parakiya Ras and Ram is Swakiya Ras. So Swakiya means you have husband-wife relationship according to, proper social convention. You have a husband, you have a wife, you have dedication, you have commitment, you have children, etc. But Parakiya Ras is you want to be with everybody else's wife. So now we are applying that to God. God wants to be with everybody's wife? Not an easy concept to wrap your mind around. And God is blackish blue like a monsoon rain cloud? Come on. And God has long hair, blackish blue, like the color of a crow. So this notion of the Bhagavan concept of this absolute truth is a little bit harder to understand. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, you cannot understand it. Bhakti-mam abhijanati yavanyas-chashmi tattvataha. If you're going to understand it, the infinite, causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord Himself has to be there. Without that infinite, causeless mercy, which is emanating from the heart of the Supreme Lord Himself, we cannot understand. And how do we achieve that mercy? By bhakti. Bhaktyaham abhijanati. Then, when you have bhakti, then you have abhijanati. Then you have understanding. In the 7th chapter, Krishna says, nabhijanati. If you don't have that, then you can't understand it. So this very notion that God is a person, God has likes and dislikes, God has a consort, a female consort. The one thing they don't tell you in other religions is that there's esoteric Christianity, esoteric Judaism, esoteric Islam, which mentions female divinity. They don't tell you that because no one really studies the esoteric. Who studies the Kabbalah, right? Who studies the mystic Christians? They don't tell you that. But in the case of Ram, he has eternal consort, Sita. And one of the reasons he has an eternal consort, Sita, is because Lakshmi, who's eternally the servant of Lord Narayan, and who massages his lotus feet and does service, up front and close service to him, one day she was kind of getting on his case. And she said to him, you always have Ananta Shesh behind you. I would like to do some private service for you, please. I always have these thousands of eyes and heads staring at me. I would like to do some private service for you. And Lord Narayan said, it's okay. It's okay. Ananta Shesh is always with me. But then she made her case even further. It is the duty of the wife to perform intimate service for the husband. And this is very frustrating for me, to always have Ananta Shesh over your shoulders, staring at me. So Narayan said, okay, I understand. So I will come in an incarnation, Ram, and you will come as Sita, and we will go to the forest. And we'll spend lots of time alone in the cottage, in the forest. So Lakshmi Devi. So that is one of the reasons that Ram and Sita, by her choice of course, were exiled for 14 years. Now, he made a promise. You will be alone with me to your heart's content for 14 years. So Ram, and the notion of Bhagavan is very hard to understand because there's emotion. There's emotion involved. When you read the Ramayana, when you want to cry, when you read what goes on, how crushed Ram is when Sita's abducted, how devastated Dasarath is when he's forced by his vow to Kaikeyi to exile Ram. Dasarath's heart was broken beyond repair. So there, in the notion or the concept of Bhagavan and service to Bhagavan, there is emotion involved. Because the primary emotion of the spiritual world is love. And love is like a rainbow. It's not one light, the light. It is like a rainbow. It is filled with emotion. Happiness, joy, elation, sadness, anger. How can you love someone and be angry? Ask any wife. But it's a manifestation of love, right? It's over. You know, it's like the wind. The wind comes and the wind goes. So love is a rainbow of emotions. And people are afraid of their emotions, right? Because emotions get us into trouble. When we yell at somebody in anger, someone we love, we feel badly afterwards, right? We feel badly. We don't want to do that. When we get sad, it's not a pleasant feeling. So all of these ups and downs, roller coasters of emotions that are there, who wants it? I want to go and I want to be free from all of that. I don't want to get angry at God because he's cheating on me. I don't want that emotion. I don't want to be sad where I'm scratching my nails against the ground in separation, dipurlamba. I don't want that. But we understand from the great acharyas that exhibition of emotions devoid of the influence of the gunas in the pure state, that is the experience of love. Because love is a noun and love is a verb. So how do you experience love? Through service, action. You're active. And there's interaction. There's action, but there's interaction. So we interact with God in this loving way. And sometimes he makes us mad, and sometimes he makes us sad, and sometimes he makes us joyful. Sometimes new devotees would complain to Prabhupada, I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be depressed that Krishna is leaving. Not like that. It's not like the depression that needs Xanax. It is a manifestation, one of the many attributes, characteristics, rainbow colors of the loving emotion on the spiritual platform. And that is so satisfying, because when we're in love, and we're immersed in love, and we think about all the experiences, the verb love, all the experiences that we have in love, then it makes it such a rich and rewarding and exciting adventure. Doesn't it? It's not every day, oh, how are you? Is everything okay? Yes, oh, wonderful. No, it's like, you didn't clean the plates last night, honey. There's spice in exchange. In interaction, there's spice. But when you reflect on that spice, it's rewarding. It's part of the whole experience. So that's why the notion of Bhagavan, God as a personality, is so hard to wrap around, because we have to understand that it is not material love. It is not love based on you scratch my back and I scratch your back. But it is a selfless experience. It is a giving experience in pure form. Bhakti is a giving experience in purity. So when we think of Ram, we're a little bit easier to comprehend Ram because, as Ishwara Radha was saying so nicely in the beginning, he was like Dharma personified. He was the best son. He was the best brother. He was the best husband. He was the best ruler. He was the epitome of perfection in human-like form. Talk about Ram Raj, right? The ruling of Ram, and how every citizen was satisfied. Every single personality in the Yodhya, which totals in the millions, loved Ram, respected Ram. Right from when he was born, right? When he was born, wasn't an ordinary birth. Dasarath, who was a great king of Kosala, couldn't have children. He had 3 wives. Okay, test. Who names of the 3 wives? Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. He had 3 wives, no children. And he was very, very depressed. Because a king, a man, not being able to have any issue, very depressed, especially for a king. Who's going to carry on the legacy? So when Vasishtha Muni came, he saw Dasarath's position. It was Vasishtha, right? I always mix up Vishwamitra and Vasishtha. He said, what is the problem? I have no children. So then, I have to abbreviate everything, I'm sorry. So then he organized a yajna, and out of that yajna came the divine personality with payash, right? Sweet rice. And Dasarath, what is this? I'm not hungry. But the sweet rice, she said, now you give each of your wife a portion, and they'll become mothers. And that's what happened. Kaushalya gave birth to Ram. Kaikeyi gave birth to Bharat. And Sumitra gave birth to? Yes, Lakshmana and Shatrugna. So their birth was not ordinary. And Vasishtha reminded Dasarath, because when they were in Gurukula and they were training, because they were Kshatriyas, and they were training on the bow, and Dasarath appeals to Vasishtha, I want to watch them in their first training session. And Vasishtha said, no, I do not allow this. And Dasarath said, you don't allow the father, the king, to watch his son in the first training session? That's not tradition. And Vasishtha looked at him and he said, is children coming from sweet rice tradition? So, not ordinary. And that's why Bhagavan, he may appear in the human form, and he may appear to be wonderful, but that's not so extraordinary. There's a lot of wonderful people in this world. He may be strongly built and handsome. That's not so wonderful. There are people like that. But the fact that he is loving and kind and merciful, he emanates like the sunshine, like the sun emanates sunshine, and it affects all parts of the universe. So Bhagavan, when he comes, that love emanates, and it affects every living entity. So Ram was loved by everyone that came close to him. Fast forward to age 15, he's gone through his training. Vishwamitra comes, right, to Dasarath, and he says to Dasarath, I need your son. Why? I need him to stop the Rakshasas from breaking up all of our sacrifices. We can't have sacrifice. Tadaka comes, her son Maricha comes, thousands of Rakshasas come and they harass us, they kill us, they eat us, they do so many things. I need Ram to come and stop this. That's what I said. He's only 15 years old. I'll go. I'm the king. My responsibility, the king's responsibility is to protect the citizenry. So I'll go. My boy's here. He's got some training still to do. Vishwamitra said, no. Ram must come. And of course, wherever Ram goes, Lakshman also goes. Lakshman's mother told Sumitra, told Lakshman, when they were going, when Ram was exiled, Lakshman went to his mother and said to her, Mother, I want your permission to go into exile with Ram. And Sumitra looked at him. What do you think her response was?
Sure.
Her response was more than sure. She says, you were born for this. It is your purpose in life to go into exile with Ram and to protect him. That was her response. So certainly Ram going and killing the Tataka, once he was blessed by Vishwamitra with divine weapons, and then he shoots Maricha and sends him 800 miles into the ocean and kills the rest. No ordinary activity at 15 years old, right? So the Lord, He appears, but when you have a heart of devotion, you see the extraordinary nature of the Supreme. He appears ordinary, even though not ordinary in the sense that He's beautiful, He's strong, He's charming, all these different qualities, but there's something more. And that can only be perceived by devotion. And devotion can only be achieved by surrender. If we don't have surrender, then we can't achieve devotion. True devotion. We can feign it. We can fake it. Oh, God. Oh. Okay. But actually to feel it, to experience it, and to live it. And that's another aspect about Bhagavan and Bhakti. It requires commitment. Any relationship that you get into, if it's a meaningful relationship, it's going to be commitment. But if you don't want to commit to God, then God is not, He's impersonal. Right? Or He's hiding in your heart. But if you commit to a loving relationship, that means service. And in order to serve, you have to surrender. You can say, I love you, dear, I love you, as much as you want, right? My wife goes out, she works 10 hours in the clinic, she comes home, where's dinner? I love you, dear. I love you. I love you too, but I'm hungry. I really love you, dear. I really love you. No, more than words. Commitment means, right? You serve. Service. So people are afraid of that commitment. It's like commitment to Guru. That's even scarier, because Guru is present. And Guru can see and hear all of your activities. And that's scary. Whenever you went into the room with Prabhupada, it was like, he was such a powerful love force. I'm not going to say Prabhupada was scary. It was just such a, you knew that this personality loved you unconditionally. And then when you're put in a relationship like that, that's frightening. Because you're called to task. Because a loving relationship means two. So if someone is doing that to you, unconditionally loving you, unconditionally serving you, that's a frightening experience. I never experienced that before. Prabhupada asked me, he said, this is right before he left the planet. He could barely speak. He wanted to speak with me. So we were speaking, and I had to get up very close. So, what is your service now? I said, Prabhupada, I'm temple president in Puerto Rico. He said, Puerto Rico. Very nice. What did the devotees do there? Prabhupada, we go in Harinam Sankirtan to all the poor sections of town, and we do Harinam, and everyone's dancing, and we distribute prasadam. And very nice. And then I told him, we distribute your books, Prabhupada. Puerto Ricans love your books. They love prasadam. Prabhupada was very happy. And then I said to him, Srila Prabhupada, can you come to Puerto Rico? And he said, what is Puerto Rico like? And I said to him, I know you like Hawaii. And it's very much like Hawaii. But it's on the East Coast. So Prabhupada said, oh. He said, okay, I'll come to your East Coast Hawaii. But when you're up close with someone who's unconditionally loving you, that is frightening experience. Because now you are called to task. And then what is that personality doing? He's introducing you to the Supreme Lord, who is expecting and willing to give you unconditional love. There's no conditions on Ram's love for his bhaktas. No conditions at all. When Bibhishan came, right? Bibhishan, brother of Ravana, the demon, the Rakshasa who's terrorizing the universe, Bibhishan couldn't handle it. Didn't want it. So he left Lanka and he went to Ram. And when he came, Sugriva said, oh no, this is a spy. Be careful. We should kill him immediately. And Ram just looked at Bibhishan. And he said, no. He said, anyone who asks me for shelter, I vow to give that shelter. Anyone, I vow to give that shelter. And in a conversation between Lakshmi and Vishnu, that's verified, Vishnu is saying, this man, every day he's chanting mantras to me, same mantras, same time, every day. But he's not giving up his habits. What should I do with him? Every day, same mantras. Om Vishnu. But he's still doing his nonsense. So Lakshmi looks at Vishnu, she said, but he's doing it. So you should see beyond his faults and accept him. Vishnu didn't want to hear that. So he goes to Bhudevi and he asks, do you agree with me? I totally disagree. Ah, Vishnu, thank you, thank you. It's not that you should accept him with his faults. He's faultless. He's praying to you. There is no fault there. So you should not see that he has any faults. We're expert. Because what happens, I'll speak for myself, I should say we. In the conditioned state of existence, what happens is we project our faults outward onto others. So we are expert at picking up the faults of others and expert at ignoring the same faults that we possess. That is our expertise. That is what we cultivate in the material world, in the conditioned state of existence, birth after birth after birth after birth, is an expertise in cultivating, finding faults in others, and not able to find the fault in ourselves. When anyone would come to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and find fault in others, he would say, look into your own heart. Amend thyself. That's what he would say. So Vishnu was given that lesson. Of course, he set it up so that we would know. So you have Ram, he performs these wonderful pastimes. He kills Tadaka. He sends Moricha 800 miles into the sea by virtue of one arrow. He kills so many Rakshasas. He's given divine weapons in order to win Sita Devi. He does something no other Kshatriya can do, no other person can do. Because Vishwamitra knew that Sita was to be married, and he knew that Ram was to be married, so he specifically went to Mithila, right? Mithila. So that this arrangement can be made. So when it was proposed to Janaka Maharaj, what did he say? Bhaktivinoda.
I think he said, I would love him to be my son-in-law, but he has to break this wish, Shiva's bow.
Yeah, he has to string it.
String it.
Yeah. Janaka said, I would love it. I would love to finally find, a father gets an anxiety when he can't marry his daughter. So I would love to marry my daughter Sita, especially to someone as capable as Ram. But there is a test, and the test is the bow of Shiva. You have to pick up, string the bow. So Vishwamitra says, Ram. Ram gets up. No one could hardly even pick up the bow. That's how heavy it was. What to speak of stringing the bow? Ram picks up the bow, strings it, crack. A sound so thunderous, so uproarious. Everybody was stunned. And Sita and Ram are united, right? So they go back to Ayodhya, a big celebration. Everyone is celebrating the union of Sita and Ram. And in that celebration, Dasarath was so happy because now he's thinking, okay, as kings think, I'm getting older. My son, my eldest son, is here. He's very qualified. Eventually, I will make him king. And so, for 12 years, Sita and Ram are enjoying in Ayodhya, and the demigods are freaking out. They're going, Ram is having such a good time in Ayodhya. When is he going to take care of business? Ravana is wreaking havoc on the universe. And one of the reasons that Ram comes is to get rid of Ravana, right? Paritaranaya sadhanam vinashaya chatuskritam. He comes to perform wonderful pastimes, meditation on the pastimes, meditation on this beautiful form. Hear the songs of Ram. The demigods are going down. What? Is this ever going to happen? Is Ram ever going to leave Ayodhya and go and kill Ravana? So the divine orchestration is there. And what is that? When it is revealed by Dasarath that Ram is going to be coronated king, everyone in Ayodhya is happy, except for Mantara. Her very name means to charm, charming. Mantara means charming. And why? Because she is empowered by the demigods to get this Leela going. So when it's announced, even Kaikeyi was joyous. And Mantara goes, "You fool. Don't you know what's going to happen? Your son Bharat is now, he's not going to be king." Kaikeyi was, "Okay. I'm cool with that. But maybe, when Ram gets older, maybe he'll pass down to Bharat." And she said, no. Ram will have sons. It will go to his eldest son. And Kaikeyi said, "Okay, that's fine. I can handle that." So Mantra is thinking, she's like frustrated now. And then she says, but you will not be the chief queen. You will have to sit at the feet of the chief queen and serve her like a maidservant. And then Kaikeyi said, "Oh, what? What? No." That got her. So then Mantara, Kaikeyi, they form this plan. Kaikeyi has 2 boons at her disposal because she saved Dasarath on the battlefield, brought him back to life and health. So Mantara said, "Use those boons." How? How do I use those boons? Exile. Bharat becomes king, number 1 boon. Second boon, Ram is exiled. So Kaikeyi approaches Dasarath, and that's what she tells him. He goes unconscious. He loves Ram so much, and it is so right for Ram to take on the throne that he cannot tolerate the very thought of exile and rejecting Ram. But Kaikeyi says, "You are a Kshatriya. This is Dharma. You gave a vow. This is your vow to me. Whenever and wherever I want to ask of you these boons, you must give them." And Dasarath knew. So they call Ram in, and Ram never saw Dasarath in such a depressed mood. And he looks at him. Immediately, he thinks he did something. "Father, what's the matter? Why are you so sad? What is it? What have I done to make you so sad?" Because they called him in. And Kaikeyi says, "He has some bad news for you." "Father, what is the bad news? What could possibly be bad?" And then, was it Kaikeyi who told him, or was it Dasarath? Kaikeyi, right? So Kaikeyi tells him, I had 2 boons. He's fulfilling my desire. My desire is Bharat king, and you are exiled for 14 years. So Ram immediately got up and he cut Kaikeyi's head off. No. He doesn't do that. Which shows Ram, how extraordinary. Immediately he says, okay, Father, if that is your wish. Imagine if Duryodhana was told that. That's what would have happened. But no, Ram says, yes, I will leave this evening. So then Ram, he has to tell, he's very close with Lakshmi. He tells Lakshmi, he tells Sita. Lakshman says, oh no, you are not going without me. And he goes to his mom. I think I said this. I'll say it again because I love this. And Lakshman goes to his mom and says, I'm going with Ram. I want your blessing, mother, please. And what does she say? No, you're not going. I'm your mother. You stay. Stay in the house. No, she doesn't say that. She says, you were born for that purpose. You were born to go into the forest with Ram. That is your duty. That is your lifelong duty to protect. So Lakshman goes, and he accompanies Ram. Sita also, very convincing. Sita says, I have a purpose too. That when you're walking in the forest, on the path, and there's pebbles and thorns, and your lotus feet are so soft, they will hurt your lotus feet. My purpose is to walk in front of you and to take either on my own feet or with my hands the thorns and the pebbles so your soft lotus feet will not be harmed. And by the way, you did promise me alone time for 14 years. How much time do I have? 3 minutes. Okay. So we'll see here. I just gave you a little tip of the iceberg of Ram and Ram Leela. But there are actually 5 principles that are there. Number 1, Ram is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by his action, his words, the realizations and service of his devotees, that is revealed. Number 2, the quality of surrender and how important it is. We have to come to grips with the fact that we must surrender. We are given the good fortune of human life. How are we to use it? That is what we have to come to grips with. I've been given this human form of life. I've been given the ability to reject or to accept service to God. It's that simple. There's really no halfway in between. I mean, you can pretend to have one foot in the material world, one foot in the spiritual world, but really, that foot in the material world, that's a heavy foot. So surrender. There are all so many instances in Ramayana of surrender. So Jatayu, Hanuman, Sugriva. So many instances of surrender. So first principle, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Second principle, surrender. Third principle, the fruits of surrender. That when we surrender, there are fruits to that surrender. And what is that? Recognition of the goal that we are to love God and to serve God. Fourth, how does that surrender take place? Lakshman, with his affection, with his enthusiasm, with his dedication, commitment to his relationship with Ram. Sita Devi, Hanuman, the emblem of devotion. So how does that surrender take place? Through service, through bhakti. How do we know that? Through the devotees. God is so merciful that He gives us opportunity to serve Him in rescuing the jivas from this material world. That's why Sugriva was chosen. What does Sugriva mean? Beautiful throat. Good throat. Griva means throat. Beautiful or good throat. So it is the voice, the sound, and all the varanas, right? How do you say that? Varanas. They are neither man or monkey. They can't make out what they are. And that is the devotee, because devotee is transcendental. Devotee is above any designation or any distinction. So as Ram engages Sugriva and the monkey army, the Supreme Lord can engage us by use of our throat in chanting and in speaking Harikatha. We can go to whoever we meet, wherever we meet them, in any situation. There has not been one situation that I have been in that I've been barred from preaching. No situation. Costco, Home Depot, there's not been one situation where I did not meet someone that I could not introduce to the principles of Krishna consciousness. Home Depot, I was looking at flooring. A tall lady comes next to me. Oh, you're changing the floor in your house too? Yes, I am. We're talking. Her husband just died, right? She reveals that to me. I'm getting another house. I need to get out of the house. Okay. I said, your husband hasn't died. She said, what? I said, the soul's eternal. You don't see him, but he's in your heart in terms of all the loving emotions that you've experienced. Isn't that right? Do you remember him? Yes, I do. So, okay, he's gone from your physical, but he's spiritual, purely 100% spiritual. She said, thank you. He needed to hear that. So, the point is, Sugriva, you have a beautiful sound vibration that you can emanate, and when you glorify the Supreme Lord to whomever you meet, wherever you meet, then don't be shy. You're given that opportunity, you're given that blessing. So I'll stop there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, His Grace Lakshmi Narasimha Prabhu ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So thank you all very much for attentively listening to this Ram Katha. Everybody was here to hear the whole entire Ram Katha. we know that in Ramayana there's so many lessons to be learned, right? And Prabhu narrated the whole story so nicely in a very short time. But as spirit souls, we know that we are part and parcel of Krishna, and we eternally serve Him. And if we serve Him with love and devotion, you become happy from within. You don't need any external paraphernalia to make you happy. So what we're doing here, once a month, twice a month, is coming together like this, in the association of like-minded people who want to hear, what is the goal of life? What is the purpose? What am I doing here? And what is the end result? What is the process? What is the process that I need to take up to become happy? And this is what we're doing here. hearing Harikatha, chanting his name, eating spiritual food, karma-free food, and you become cleansed from within so that you can understand the higher topic. So I want to thank each and every one of you for taking your valuable time and spending it with us. We're very happy. So we want to say Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time all together because it's Ramanavmi. Ready? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. And Lakshmi Narasimha Prabhu, he's also conducting classes on Zoom. If anybody is interested in joining those classes, you can contact myself and I can give you the information. Because it's very nice to hear from a person who is from a different background and being introduced to bhakti, and he understands and he can explain it in such a nice, simple, easy way. Right? So please join the class if you can. And now the next part of the program is Arti. But before we start Arti, I just want to make one more announcement that the prasadam that's being cooked today and sponsored by two Matajis. One is Radhika Bhakti Mataji and Vishesh Shobha Mataji. Let's give them a 3 times Hari Bol. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Thank you so much. And if anyone else wants to sponsor any of the things that we do here, whether it's decorating the deities, making the prasadam, this hall, everything. If you want to make any kind of contribution, you can contact myself again. And we'll really appreciate it if you would bring other people next time with you. That would make us really happy. Thank you so much. Okay, now we'll continue with the Aarti. Okay, Hare Krishna. So everyone please, of course, rise on your feet and you're allowed to dance. Because when you're happy, you dance. Okay? So please make some space and please come closer.
Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namini Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasatya Desatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasatyadi Satarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Divasari Pura Bhattavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Divasari Pura Bhattavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhattavinda Jaya
Hare Ramanavmi. Jai Jai Jai
नरसिंह भगवान की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य सत श्री श्रीमाद His Divine Loving Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Sat Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki Nam Acharya Thakur Haridas ki Sri Sri Sitaram ki Ram Navami ki Sri Sri Radha Govinda Deva ki Sri Sri Gaura Nitai ki Nitai Gaura Pramanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Jai Sri Guru Sri Gauranga Hari Hari Bol.
Haribo, that concludes our whole program. So thank you so much again for attending. And now we have a birthday. So everybody please come to the birthday cake table. And it's Sidhu's 16th birthday. So we're going to chant Hare Krishna for him. Sidhu, sorry. Sidhu, okay. Okay, Siddharth. His real name is Siddharth. He's turning 16 today. So let's everybody come here by the cake table and we can wish him a very happy birthday. And please pray for him so that he may also